Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. I call this channel the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube. I call this chapstick. This is cake batter, scented and flavored. I pulled it out at random. My brows are done. For face, we have on the Pat McGrath. I just dropped the jaw. The Pat McGrath primer, which is in one of these airless pumps. This is the Pat McGrath foundation. This is M18. The other one I think is a 0.5 ounce that I put the primer in. But anyway, so that's what's on the face. Yo, I'm having, I don't know. Okay, let me back up. When I prime the eye, I'll tell you, I'll do the intro for the new people. Thank you if you're new here. Hang tight, just hang in there with me for a little while because I think you will enjoy this video. These three palettes are from MAC. They're limited edition. They came out in October, but clearly they're for Christmas, right? So anyway, this one says Nobody's Business eyeshadow palette. This is so freaking cute. And it is raised. Well, the MAC wording is raised, which is really nice. And they have the shadow names on the back in order that they're in the palette. And this is what the inside looks like. And when I saw this, I had no intention on getting this or the other two, but I saw them in store and they got me. And I talked about that. And I think it was my haul video. It might have been the one that I did as a live when I'm like, Matt got me, because I saw this and the other two I just showed you in store. And I was like, oh. So I went home, went through Rakuten, ordered online and picked it up the next day. But anyway, my initial idea was to do one look with these two columns, another look with these two columns. And when I was looking at this last night, well, this morning before I went to sleep, I see so many looks with this palette. This row can be a look. This row can be a look if you want your purples. This can be an ethereal look if you don't want to put black on the lid. Use it as a liner. Also, this could be a nice smoky column. This can be an easy column to do. Very light ethereal column. This, very light and ethereal. If you don't want to put this on the lid, put this as your liner color, or very lightly in the transition, or for lower lash line. And so I'm just like, girl, you was tripping. How you were just going to do 2 looks? But I'm seeing like 6 looks, at least a good 6 looks, from dark and smoky to light and ethereal. And of course you can mix and match. And so I'm thinking right now, as of earlier today, to do a multi-look video. I don't like doing one look each eye because it's challenging to just see one look for itself because you're looking at 2 different looks. But I think that's what I'm going to do because I want to just knock this out and give you my review of the entire palette, which means using it in multiple color combination ways. And so we're not going to use this today. If you're liking the colors, just look at them, dupe them out. You don't have to buy this. I do really like MAC's formula. And in these limited edition palettes, as well as some of their other connecting color palettes, they do have their matte formula. Some of them are luster shades and some are frost shades. The frost, I believe, are the ones that don't show up much. They're not quite toppers, but they're not very saturated, but they are like very pretty. And I'm not really pointing at this one because I'm not sure which is which. I'm just holding the palette. So there are at least 3 different finishes of MAC formulas in this palette. So we're going to come back to this and we're just going to bust it out. And it will mean a lot of editing because easily I can take 15-20 minutes just to do one complete look. And since we're doing one eye on each side, it will be a lot of editing because I don't want the video to be like 5 hours to do like 6 looks. And some of my videos now are like, 40 minutes for one look. So that's what we're going to do with that. So the 2 that we're going to use today, one on each eye, which I don't prefer to do. But I am just like hella excited. And as I'm applying the shadow, I'm trying to figure out like right now, do I want to say the names and the finishes as I do them or not? These 2, the 2 6 pans are called Squall Goes eyeshadow palettes. And the same thing, the lettering for MAC is raised. This one is Cabin Fever. This one right here, this is easily do this look, do a 2 shadow look here, 2 shadow look here, 2 shadow look here. You can lay this down and top it with this, or just put this all over outer corner, or just lower lash line if you just want this all over the lid. These are very much, I think, what people would consider Christmas palettes. I don't want to say holiday palettes because there's a holiday every friggin' month, and I think people I don't know. I'm not even going to get into that. So Cabin Fever, we have Guilty Pleasure, which is a luster. Toasty Turvy, which is a matte. Yeah, this is a matte. Pure as Gold is a luster. This shade here is Swiss Chocolate, and I think I might have that in one of my Build Your Own palettes. This one is Always Gold, and this is a frost. This is Stir the Pot, which also says it's a frost. And so that's kind of surprising. So you do see like some shimmer and glitter, not glitter, but you do see some shimmer in there. So I'm curious to see if it's going to show up like that. The other one we're going to use on the other eye today is also Squall Goals, which I said goals as in the goal line, or what is your goal for next year type of thing. And this one is Sparkle Storm. This is so freaking cute. Can y'all see why these got me when I seen them in store? I had no intention. Online, it's like, all right. And I did say these three, this one and the other 6-pan, are limited edition. And I do think that they are what people would consider like Christmas palettes. So this one, Sparkle Storm, this is Snowbody's Angel. It's a luster. This is Malbec the Halls. This is a matte. This one here is Ice Skater Boy. It's a luster. Head to Snow is a matte. No. Head to Snow. Oh, I stuck my finger in it. I'm good for that. Head to Snow, which is a matte. Glow MG, which is a luster. Like I Sled, this is also a luster. So I'm curious on how the lusters are going to show up. I am familiar with their matte formula and their Velvet Pearl formula and their Dazzle Shadows and their Dazzle Shadow Extremes. I'm not too familiar with the lusters, but I'm sure I do have a few in my BYOPs. So we're going to prime the lids and get into this look. I have brushes laid out. I have eyeliners laid out for underneath and for inner rims. I have liner for upper lash line. So I have everything laid out. Hopefully I don't forget anything. I don't have anything out for face because we will edit that part out. And look at this, y'all. I didn't realize until I sat to do my makeup, something else bit me. Y'all, I am sweet. I'm telling you, I am sweet as candy. And I'm like, something done bit me on my face. And being that the Pat foundation is a sheer foundation, it didn't cover it up. Now, if I used a Fenty, that would cover it. If I used Estee Lauder, it would. But I really didn't even notice it. I didn't feel it, no itching, no anything. When I sat down and put it on, I'm like, oh, did I miss a spot with foundation? I'm like, oh, damn. I do curse on my channel sometimes. That's part of the intro, which I didn't do yet. So excuse me if that startled you if you're new here. So this is a Fenty eyeshadow primer. I call this the crazy troll nation of YouTube. The crazy, just enjoying doing videos, enjoying, you know, the channels that you watch here on YouTube. And if you do videos, knowing it's okay to be yourself. And even if you don't do videos, when you're commenting, feel free to just say what you want to say. I mean, be respectful and all of that. Because some people just be taking stuff personal. And I'm like, it's a video about makeup. It's not about you, boo-boo. But anyway. Oh, I want to just prime one eye at a time. So I'm going to take, I'm going to take a sponge tip applicator and wipe this off. Because if I try to reapply the primer later, it's going to stick and it's not going to blend right. Because I've done that before, like just trying to add it on. So, okay, that is off and it's not tacky. For me, the Fenty primer is a tacky primer. And so, I'm going to throw that away because I used 2 sides of that one, 3 sides, I don't know. So, let me leave that out for later. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. As you're watching beauty-related content, try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand or a certain tool or a certain technique. Listen, if you're watching me, you're good and grown. Wear whatever you want to, however you want to, put it on however you want to, and just rock it. You know, if you think your aesthetic is different, look through my videos. I'll be doing some wacky stuff on here because I want you to just enjoy playing in your makeup. So just wear whatever you want to and just know that what you think about yourself is more important than what somebody else may say about you. Here at the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube, we are about self-acceptance and self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you're not wearing face paint. That is the intro. If you're new here, I need to let you know, which I alluded to earlier because I slipped up and said something. If you, no, not if you, anything. I curse sometimes on my channel because I curse sometimes. So we're going to start with Cabin Fever. Thank you for being here. If you're new, hang tight. sometimes. And if you're returning, thank you, my troll Ken. I'm not sure if I have a link for these below, but I do have a link to the Mac store below and my Shop My Store. That link is below if you just want to go straight to the website from the link. I also have a Mac referral code. Sorry to poke you in the eye several times. So that link is below as well. So also I have a Shop My link for Ulta if you want to shop at Ulta, because Ulta also does sell Mac products. Save yourself some coin. It doesn't have to be my links, because I do earn a commission on the majority of the links that's below. But Mac's website has sales, Ulta has sales, coupons. And the thing with Shop My is that if you click to go to the website from Shop My, you'll still get whatever deals, sales, and you can use codes. Whatever they're offering on the website, you can still use them. So we're going to, I confused myself with the second look with Sparkle Storm. So my notes is looking crazy, but this is Cabin Fever. So we're going to take Toasty Turvy, which is this shade right here. And I'm holding it upside down, so that's why I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. And sometimes I really don't know what I'm doing. So that's going to go on the outer lid. So we're going to put, oh, okay, this is very light. And this is a matte. Toasty, but it does look toasty. This is cute. I thought it was going to be darker, or I would have started with this one, but this one's a luster, right? This one is a frost. So I don't know. So I'm kind of surprised that this is showing up this way. For me, MAC shades do show up through the pan, but you know what? That is kind of what this is looking like. So I'm going to tap because I do want more saturation. But it is pretty. And the lusters and the frosts are easy to work with because they're not very deep shades. And so even though you're seeing a lot of color in here, you'll see as I put them on, it's going to be like, oh, that's not that scary. That's not that intimidating. Oh, I can try that. I will say one thing about some of MAC shadows is that the colors are not easily dupable. Like if you layer something, then yeah, you may be able to dupe it. But the way they show up, at least on me anyway, like some of their palettes I can do. Future Flame has Sunlit Seduction vibes. I used something else, Unfiltered Nudes, that gave me subliminal vibes. But some palettes like this one, I don't know what, this is giving me its own vibe. And I am really liking it. And I'm glad that MAC came out with this collection because MAC, for a long time, they weren't on anybody's radar. But for the last, since the spring, I think, I've been really, actually last year, because I put together a palette at the CCO, went in the store and put together a palette a year or so ago. So I'm really getting back to it. And so I'm happy to see these collections. The Black Panther collection, I purchased it and then I ended up getting rid of it. The Whitney Houston one wasn't my tones. They did someone else, I think Ella Fitzgerald, and I'm just like, but something like this, or like the Connecting Color palettes, which I do have looks on. I do have a playlist for the Connecting Color, and I'm going to add squaggles to that playlist as well. So I'll put that in the description of the playlist, since there's only these two, and I have 6 of the Connecting Color palettes, 3 of the 12 pan and 3 of the 6 pan. I'm looking over here counting them right now, and they're looking at me like, yeah, I hear you talking about me. Yes, I'm talking about you. So this is this shade, and this is pretty. This can be a one and done depending on your complexion, or it can be a transition shade depending on your complexion. If you're fair, this can be your liner color. So just use shadows however you want to. Now we're going to take Always Gold, which is this shade. Is it really? This shade right here, which is a frost. Looking at it upside down confuses me. So we're going to put this on the center of the lid. This is a lighter palette than I thought, but she cute. I don't know why I be saying cute like that. Just be like, it's cute. It's cute. Or if I'm really a hood, I'm like, it's cute. K-E-Y-U-T-E. Cute. And it blends itself. I'm just tapping and it's blended with this shade. Like this is easy. This is a frost. So you see what I'm saying about the frost? Like it's not a lot of color, but it's some color and it's easy to blend. It's not quite a metallic. It's not a sparkle. It's a frost. So it's just like, let's just put some frosting on the lid. It's cute. So we're going to put that down. Now we're going to take another brush and go into Pure as Gold, which is this shade. This is a luster. I don't know what this is going to look like next to this one. I'm thinking it's going to be gold since it says Pure as Gold, but it's looking kind of greeny. We're going to find out. We are going to find out. Shades like this, just because of how they look in the pan, it encourages me or makes me think to put this over a green base to see what shade it brings out, or even contemplative state, which is more of a, I'll just show it to you. I don't know how to describe it. It's not quite a mustard, but this is contemplative state. I don't know what to describe it as. It's not a yellow. It's not quite a mustard, but to put this shade over top of that, just to see, would it bring out the green or would it just make it look more gold? And if I put this over green, I do think that would be really pretty, or even layering it over a matte green shadow. We're going to go back with the brush with the center shade on it, and we're just going to tap right here on the line. Actually, we're going to go lightly back and forth. And so I am glad that this did show up kind of goldish, but it is like a goldy green. And so, and I'm holding this and you can't see because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. So that's the top of the lid. So now we're going to, what are we going to do? Guilty Pleasure. Guilty Pleasure is this shade right here, and this is a luster. So we're just going to put this going to be bright. We're just going to put this brow arch I have it for. So just right there. And that is it. Actually, let's bring it a little further in, but not all the way to here. So just starting like right here. Almost like where the eyeshadow, my lid shade stops. So we're going to start right there and very lightly just bring that over. This is pretty. And I normally don't like a brow bone shade, but we're putting on colors. That looks a little dusty, which is why I don't always like to do that. This is the brush that had this first shade, Toasty Turvy. And we're just going to pat on the line, actually pat over the outer corner of where that lid shade, I'm sorry, the tear duct shade is. So that's super friggin' easy. So now we're going to, so I don't confuse myself, we're going to take a brown NYX retractable eyeliner. This is going to make this look dark because I thought this was going to show up darker. And then I thought to put a gold under here, but we're going to put that brown under here. Swiss chocolate, and it is chocolate if I remember correctly. So we're going to put that there. I want to do inner rims, but I don't want my eyes to tear because we got a lot to do. But part of me is like, just go for it and just do it. So yeah, let's just do it. Y'all, it's not turning up. This is all that's left. That's all that's left in here. Oh, I'm excited. I'm sure I gotta back up when Ulta has their sales. If I'm running low on a particular color, I'll get another color. I did purchase some of the MAC Connecting Color Gel Excess pencil liners, which are retractable, the same as the NYX ones. For me, the MAC ones stay longer on my waterline, and also the Sephora ones stay longer on my waterline than the NYX. But it's not a problem for me to reapply, and for the price point, yeah, we do the NYX here. But as I said, I did get some of the MAC ones because there was a 30% off sale. So I'm like, still not as inexpensive as NYX, but because they last longer, I said I'm going to get it. Now we're going to take Swiss Chocolate, which is this shade right here. And this is a matte. So we're going to put this on our lower lash line under here. And I did pull out a brown liner to put on my upper lash line because I realized, even though I thought this was going to be darker, this is, where the hell are we? Even I thought this was darker. This one is still darker than that. And I don't know why I thought it was brown, because it's actually more like a, I don't know, y'all. I don't know what I'd be looking at. It's not brown. And I know y'all know that and y'all can see that and y'all like, girl, what's wrong with you? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I just don't know sometimes. But that's going to go there. We're going to put that brush down. Now we're going to take Stir the Pot. This is Stir the Pot, and this is a frost. That's also going to go lower lash line. We're taking a stubby eyeliner brush, a stubby smudger brush, excuse me. We're just putting it in and wiggling it, and it's starting to tear already. I'm stammering a lot today because I'm rushing because we're doing 2 different looks. And I don't want this to be really long. And because we're doing the complete eye look, it's not much to edit out. But we are going to edit out the face, or just not do the face. I think we'll just edit out the face, because that whole part will be just easy to just clip out when I do edit the video. So that is that, and some of that got up into my eye. So this is all the shades. This very easy, very simple. I do think it'll pull together even more once we get the upper lash line colored down. I'm going to pull out a mascara right now so I don't forget, because I most likely will. So we're going to take, excuse the clink that you are about to hear. We're going to take Dip Down. It's brown. It's just called Dip Down, but the color's brown. I just always usually feel like I need to sing it. This is a fluid line from MAC. We're going to put this on our upper lash line. I have shadow in my eye from when I did my lower lash line, because I could feel something in there, which means it's going to tear and flush itself out. Oh, I came out wider than I wanted to right here. If you see videos and I do liner and it's jacked up, sometimes I don't notice it until I watch it back, and I'm just like, girl, you way up here and your lash line is way down here. And yes, I did like hit myself up there. Sometimes I just don't see it when I'm doing the look. So this is the liner for this side. I actually like that line because it doesn't look, I didn't do the swoosh, which is always by accident. So the way it looks like this is the way it looks when I look up. I like that. Oh yeah, here we go with the tears. So now we're going to move on to the other eye. Where's the primer? The primer is right here. So let me know what you're thinking about this look over here. It does look like it's dupable with other stuff because it is just really basic shades. Very light, ethereal, there, not there. Next time I use this palette, I definitely would put Swiss Chocolate, even though it's a burgundy type shade. I would put that somewhere on the lid, most likely outer corner, because I do like darker looks. Or, you know, outer corner of the lid, and also slightly over into my upper transition area, just to give the look more depth, because I like dark looks. And so just again really quick, this is what this looks like, and I'm digging it. So very easy, very simple look to do. So now we're going to move over to the other eye. Where to put my paper? Let me move my brushes closer to me, because I do have brushes laid out for this look as well. And put that liner here that we're going to use. Try not to, I dropped the fluid line, but we use that for this eye, so we're good. Jesus. So Sparkling Storm. No, it's not. Sparkle Storm. And so we're going to take, and these notes is crazy because I don't know, I wrote stuff like half-ass backwards, actually all the way backwards. So we're going to take Head to Snow, which is this shade. We start in deep, and this is a matte. This is going to go on the outer lid, and I really hope that's where it's supposed to go, because if not, we're just going to just make up a whole bunch of stuff to do this. Y'all didn't tell me I didn't blend out my primer. I'm so used to priming both eyes at the same time. I was really ready to put shadow on, and I'm looking at the primer like that shadow would have just stuck exactly where I put it, and the primer already started to dry. I'm wondering if it's going to be creasy, because in here I'm not seeing any primer, and it's like dry like right here. Oh man, I waited too long to blend it out, and that's why I waited to prime this one separate. So if there's an issue with how the shadow is looking, here's the primer. So we're going to press this here. This is Head to Snow. I love the names of these. Head to Snow, Glow MG, Like I Sled, Snowbody's Angel, Malbec the Halls, and Ice Skater Boy. Did I go through the names earlier in the finishes? I don't remember. I do stuff so quick, or I try to do it so quick, that I really just don't be remembering sometimes, like what I did or didn't say. I don't know, but we're going to do it. Well, Snowbody's Angel, this is a luster. Malbec the Halls is a matte. Ice Skater Boy is a luster. Head to Snow is a matte. Glow MG is a luster, like I said, is a luster. Now that I'm saying it, I do feel like I said it earlier. So this is blending out nice. So we're tapping just to get the blend, and we're going to tap, well, we're going to feather inward over here because the other shade I think is going to be light and I don't want to have trouble blending. But if we do, we will work it out. We're going to take a little bit more to put in here, like directly into the crease where it looked a little funky from me not blending it out. This is pretty. This is the darkness I like. I tapped in again lightly. We're going to just tap some more right here. Yeah, this is what I like. I like darkness. I like dark looks. I like looks that are different. Like, give me something different. Ethereal looks are nice. Monochromatic looks are nice. And even though this is monochromatic, I would definitely put that darker shade in the outer corner and blend some over to the crease because I do like darker. But other than that, like the lid shades are nice. These two shades are different together. This gold with that orangey shade, but it's different and I like different. So I'm satisfied with that. Because sometimes I feel like with YouTube and Instagram, it's like the same types of looks. And even when I'm looking at some videos, this is not directed at anybody in particular. So please don't feel like I'm coming for anybody. And if you want to come for me because you think I am, you know, that's fine. Come on and come for me. We can sit down and talk about it. But, well, chat about it in the comment section. But sometimes looking at videos, when I see the palette, I already know like what they're going to do. I know what shade they're going to take for transition. I know what shade they're going to take for the crease. And so the only toss up is where they're going to put on the lid. So it's just, sometimes it's just so much of the same thing. And I want to just do something different. Even though you look at this and you're like, okay, she wants dark. That's what she's going to do. But I do hope to show you different things with some of my videos. And if you want an example, look at my Xenon videos. Some of them is like, girl, what the hell? And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell. But it was something different than the typical looks that, you know, I've been seeing with that palette and with other palettes. But I just want to see something different, something new, something that's going to excite me. Because when I see similar things all the time, like my excitement just is kind of like, I've seen this before. You know what I mean? Either that video or that channel or another one. Now we're going to take Ice Skater Boy. And Skater is spelled SK8R, boy. And that shade is somewhere in here. Ice Skater Boy is this shade here, and this is a luster. And this one is pressed funny. I think I might have said it when I seen it, because this side of the pan, you can see the shadow, and you can see the edge of the pan. This side, the shadow was all the way at the top of the pan. And I was concerned that it was loose, but it's not. So this being a luster, we are trying to pick it up with the brush, and we'll see. We're not tapping off. We're just going to press. That's a nice shade. Ooh. This combination right here is making me think of Subliminal from Pat McGrath, Mothership #1. Like this combo right. This is pretty. This combo right here. So we're not tapping off because for me the tacky primer is the Fenty primer. For me the Fenty primer is the tacky primer. Excuse me for all my blunders. I'm just really trying to get through this so it's not like super long. Yeah, so thank you for being here for it. I was looking at, there's a YouTube subreddit on Reddit, and someone had wrote, we're going to go back and forth right here. They asked, do you realize that every view is a person, and every watch hour is an hour out of someone's life? And I commented, yeah. And that's why I always, you know, thank you. And when I know the video is long, I'm like, thank you for still being here. Or if I'm going back and forth about something, I'm like, thank you for helping me process. Because sometimes just talking about things or what I'm thinking about helps me figure out, is this a dual curl? I don't think so. Is this looking like... No, this is just how their lusters are. That is pretty. Oh my gosh. Now we're going to take Glow MG, this shade down here. Are we really? What is that going to look like next to this one? We're going to find out. And so I said, that's why I always make it a point to, like, you know, thank people for watching, thank you for being here. And even like mid video, like now, it's like, you know, thank you for being here. this is a luster, and so is this one that we put in the center. But this one being a lighter shade, it is barely showing up, but it's still very pretty. This is a great palette, I think, if you do like ethereal looks, because you can just do this row. Put this on the lid, lash line, do your brow bone. And even this, because this would play off of this shade. You see what I'm saying? And because this also is a luster, it's not going to be really bright. I really like this little palette. I mean, I would do darker, but this side we did do darker than that side. But you see how the shades go together. And this one does really just kind of blend into this one. So you can do this and just leave that across the lid and have an ethereal look, and put this for your lash line color if you don't want to put this for your upper lash line. You see what I'm saying? And put this for your brow bone, which I actually do think we're going to do, but we'll see. And so I do appreciate it, because I know people are like, oh, views, numbers. The views come from people, and the numbers is each and every one of you that watch whatever video it is. You know what I'm saying? And so somebody has said, oh, I never thought about it that way. And a couple people said they never thought about it that way, that each view is a person. And if your video is an hour, that's an hour out of somebody's life. And I'm like, how did you not know that? But then I know some people, they just want to grow and chase, you know, the numbers and views, which is why I refuse to do that, because you're people, and I appreciate you for being here. People hashtag trolls, because this is a crazy troll nation. So now we're going to take Malbec the Halls, M-A-L-B-E-C, the Halls. And where is that? I'm holding it, trying to find it. That's this shade here. I have this for transition, but this is so deep that I'm like, what? So I think I'm gonna need a fluffier brush, because I think that might be too dense and it might apply too much shadow. So we're going to take this taper brush and we're going to tap in, and we're going to tap around and turn the brush as we're tapping. And we're going to start out here and tap. This is a matte, and you see it is a deeper shade. And so we're going lightly because I don't want it super dark. That's pretty under my brow. So we're just tapping, and we are turning the brush and laying it sideways, but we're still just tapping. So we're turning the brush and tapping because we did coat all sides of the brush. That's pretty. Monochromatic from lash line to all the way up, but it's pretty. And I am going to just do some blending over here because this is looking a little janky. We're going to tap in lightly, tap off, and just go in the small circular motion over here because that's not looking right. I tapped in again, now we're going to feather, and it's still kind of looking janky. We're going to go back to that brush that had that shade on there, and we're just going to tap. Okay, I think we got it. Now we're going to take Snowbody's Angel, which is this shade. And we're going to use that as a brow arch shade. I don't know what it's going to look like. Y'all notice I didn't swatch anything. Was I going to swatch these? I don't know. And so we're just going to put that right here. Oh, so it shows up, but then it doesn't. And I'm blending it, and it's blending it. That's okay. So it is blue, and it's icy. Snowbody's Angel is a blue icy troll shadow thing. You know, I actually like that because it makes it not look so monochromatic from the lid all the way up, which granted from the lid to here is all the same shade anyway, but it's blending in with that tear duct shade. So we're taking some more of Snowbody's Angel. I like this up here. This is doing what I wanted, even though I didn't know what I wanted because I didn't know how it was going to show up, but it is bringing some lightness. Oh, when I go like this, it's like, wow, like this is like, okay, it's there. This is like Holy Toledo Batman. So we're going to take a brush with no shadow on it. Actually, this brush, and we're just going to feather it out because like this is fine. Like this is just like, oh, that's like that silver liner you did with that Xenon look. It's just like, don't do that again. But this, these shades show up, whether they are light or not. They are showing up. So I'm just going back and forth trying to blend that because with my brows raised, it's just like, girl, like right here is too much. But you know, we're going to leave it because like this is fine. When I go like this though, when I turn this way, So it's there, but it's not there. That's interesting. So we're going to put that brush down. Now we're going to take Like I Sled, which is this shade down here. This is also a luster, and that's going to go on our tear duct. So we're taking a little teeny tiny brush, and we're only going to do the tear duct. So I'm not going to do any wrapping. I just want to see what it looks like, and that's pretty. I should have used this for up here, because it does look bluish in a way. Like this, it looks blue. Like this is just kind of silvery. That's a pretty shade. Actually, these all are. Part of me wishes that the tear duct shade, this one, wasn't so close to this. But if you're wanting to do a monochromatic look, it will be perfect for that. And I'm tempted, not in this video, because this one is about these looks, but to put both of these over a purple base. And I have Bougie, which is a multi-chrome or dual chrome fluid line, and it's like purple, something else, and see what that looks like. See what this shade looks like over that, and put this over purple, and see, this is a dual chrome. What? Look at that. So it's purple, and then it's like a burgundy. This reminds me of something else that I have, and it's a basic shift, like a burgundy and a purple, and maybe a tad hint of green in there. It's making me think of a shade from one of the 50/50 makeup palettes, but the shift in that one was a lot stronger though. So I was seeing a shift when I was doing like this. So it's very faint. It's there, but it's very faint. That's cute because it's unexpected. And I just noticed that looking at it in the viewfinder, because here I'm like, okay, it's kind of like purplish, and then it's like, wait, that ain't purple, that's kind of burgundy. So this way, excuse me, swallowed the wrong way. This would play off of that, but then it still does. And of course, you know, next to here, it looks the same. So this is a cute tear duct because it's not like super bright. We're going to go back to the brush that had the inner corner shade on it, and we're just going to just tap right there, just to tone that part down just a tiny bit. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take a purple. Are we really? Ice Skater Boy? No way. We can't. Yes, we are. Okay. Purple NYX Retractable Eyeliner. And that's going to go on our lower lash line. And I kind of meant to do this after I put the brown over here, that way to let this one go ahead and start tearing from when I put it on my inner realms. But then I forgot. I'll be rolling, y'all. And I could say in my mind what I'm going to do, but then once I start, it's like just keep rolling with that look. Here's a question. If you don't do videos, do you think you ever will? Excuse me if you heard that in my throat. Because some people, they're like, I kind of think about it every now and then, and it is a lot of work. And it can create anxiety because you're like, I don't know if I can like do a video and talk to people, but I don't know. So just, you know, so let me know if you've thought about doing videos. Yeah, let me know that. So we're going to take Ice Skater Boy, the luster. I stuck my finger in it. And for all the times I say I don't use my fingers for makeup, I sure be sticking my fingers in it accidentally a lot. And we're going to press this. This being a luster, it's not flaky, but it's not a matte. So if I brush it, it definitely will create fallout. Speaking of which, do I have any under my lids? You know, I don't always wait forever to take the things off the mirrors. And so when I go to look for fallout, like I can't even see it. But I think what I'm going to do, do I want to put more foundation under my eyes? Because that foundation is so sheer. It's like, would it make a difference? Let me just take this off of here really quick if I can grab it. Oh, I do have some fallout. I think I'm going to take concealer. But sometimes that just makes it look like a funky greenish type tone because of the color of the concealer, which is a good match for me. But putting it on top of dark shadow fallout sometimes just makes it a little funky. So part of me is just like, just put on more foundation and leave it and call it a day. That looks really pretty under there. So these are the shades from this palette. This is hella cute. See, now right here, When I first said this right here makes me think of a combination from Subliminal, but then as you come over, this is still this same shade. So, and maybe it's just looking purple here, number one, because it is a dual chrome, a very, for lack of a better word, weak dual chrome, but near that black, or actually, yeah, whatever shade, dark brown, it is looking purple, but as you come over, you're seeing the reddish. And so I don't know if that's the dual chrome from the angle, because here it all looks the same, but then when you turn, you see a different color over here. So I do think that's the dual chrome aspect of it. But I'm liking how this works. I'm liking that we did get kind of a smoky outer corner. You're going to hear a clink. I'm going to put these brushes away. And we're going to take, so there's the fluid line on the ground, and the primer done rolled somewhere else under the chair. So the fluid line rolled over there. The primer dropped and rolled under my stool, and it's over here. Y'all, let me tell you. This is MAC's Fluid Line in Black Mirror. And we're using the same brush as we used for the other side, because I purchased 2 more of them, so now I got 4. So we're going to just line our upper lash line. I am so used to using gel liners for upper lash line. Fenty had a sale on their website. You'll know by now because you'll have seen that haul video that I'm actually doing, well, did by the time you see this as a live, and I did that thicker than I wanted to. So stuff was like 30% off, I think, 25% off at least. I think some of it was 30. Yeah, some of it was, I want to say 30% off, but I don't want to lie to you. So at least 25% off. And then they did another sale right after that, 25% off, you know, certain eye makeup items. And I looked at the fly liners, and I think I have a backup somewhere, but I haven't used them in so friggin' long. The ones I had, I decluttered because they were open for a long time, but I'm just so used to using, I like that line. It is a little swoosh, but it's okay because it blends in. I like that this one is thin and it comes straight out. This one is kind of a swoosh, but it blends into the eyeshadow. So I do like it because this way you can't tell it's a swoosh. Even if I go like this, you can see it's a swoosh. As I said, I never intend to do a swoosh. So we're going to edit out, and we're going to put on the Dior Show Mascara 288. It's blue. It doesn't show it blue. We're going to put more foundation under the eye. We're going to finish the face really quick. I'm going to just do the Esom thing because it's super fast. And doing these MAC looks, I'm realizing I don't have a MAC highlighter, blush, or bronzer. And I'm okay with that because I have enough stuff that I use and that I love. And we're going to, I think I'm going to just probably end up putting on this gloss because this will go with both looks. And this looks like nothing. Actually, check this out. This is Bronze Venus from Pat McGrath. Top lip Bronze Venus, bottom lip chapstick. It just looks shiny. It doesn't look like a color. And when I put it over a black lip or a dark lipstick, it just adds shine. So it goes with everything. So that's done. So yeah, we're going to put more foundation under eye. We're going to powder down with Fashion Fair Set It Loose Powder Truly Tawny. We're going to do the whole Esom thing. We're going to use everything in here. And if my under eyes are still looking a little bit funky, then we're going to take Radiant Light from Hourglass. I just dropped the gloss from Radiant Light and put that on under eye. And then we'll come back with the finished look. So we've done everything we said we were going to do, except we did not take Radiant Light under the eyes. And so all of this coloring that you see on my face, this is all just from the Esom palette. We did use everything in here. We did, is that it? Can you see them? Oh, yeah. We did under eye highlight, this shade just a little bit lower, this shade kind of here, and this shade, the last shade we used for the perimeter of the face. And so that's what we did with the face. We did use the this is not Hourglass. We did use the Fashion Fair Set It Loose Powder and Truly Tawny. And we did use the Dior Show 288 mascara, which is blue, but on me it doesn't show up as blue. So to wrap up this video, thank you so much for being here with me for this. This one is Cabin Fever. This one. That's that look. Let me know what you think about Cabin Fever. Not as a comparison to Sparkle Storm, but just on its own. And if it's something you think you would get, and again, these are limited edition, and so is the 12 pan, and we're going to really dig into that one because I see quite a few looks, and I see quite a few looks in these too. But this one is Sparkle Storm, so that is this look. That's what we have with that one. I was about to compare, but we ain't gonna do it. Y'all know I like smoky, but we can do smoky over here by putting this shade out here, or even seeing what this one would look like, even though it's what shadow is this one? Even though this one is a frost. So I do want to come back to these, but I'm just so excited about, well, I'm excited about these too, about Snowbody's business, because I don't always automatically see looks, and this is just so friggin' easy. A look, a look, a look, a look, a look, ethereal look, super ethereal look. You can do this, you can do that column, you can do this is a quad, this down here is a quad, this is a quad because you have the purple here and the purple here if you want to do that. This is an ethereal quad. This palette, y'all, whew. So we're going to go for now. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you for being here. Let me know if you've even heard of these new, not new the time you see this video, but the new, well, the Christmas looking limited edition palettes. And again, the 12 pan is Snowbody's business eyeshadow palette. These two are Squall Goals eyeshadow palette. There we go. I can speak English and I can read. So that is it for this video. That is it for these looks. And so again, here is this one, Cabin Fever. This is Sparkle Storm. I am digging both of them. I'm excited that I purchased these. I'm hella excited to jump into this one. I'm starting to babble. We're going to go. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, that'll be it. Thank you. And as always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon.